Hello, ladies and gentlemen, Deja Vu here, and welcome to the ace match of STX versus We Made Fox. Once again, I've got Varosha alongside, of course, and this should be a very exciting last game. I believe it's going to be on Judgment Day, and in the last set we saw Roro overcoming the Red Sniper, taking down Washin, and now he's going to have to face STX Ace, who's starting out in the top left in orange on an orange back map. So I think Varosha's going to be very, very upset, kind of like his hatred of Mind and blue players on Neo Moonglaive. I think we're going to have a repeat of that.
He's got creep, though.
So you can actually tell where his bases are. That's useful.
Exactly. That's why Zerg's the best race.
Oh, Zerg is not the best race. We all know that it's Protoss. Let's not even discuss it.
Alright. Hey, you can't get Manor Pylon as a Zerg. Just putting that out there.
Hey, you can't manner anything if you are a Zerg player.
You can still steal gas. Anyways, so a ZVZ to finish it all off, and I think I said this earlier or at some point, Roro for a time was the only player to have a winning record against Jaedong. That does not mean his Zerg versus Zerg was good. That just means he took one game, and it looks like whoa, gassed first for Roro. Roro's such a baller. I don't know, he might be. Wow,
it's a big map, so I think he's just trying to like cheat a little bit. Cause like this was the I don't know if you remember when last season.
I don't know if he's going for the extractor trick to push
I don't
out
think
next
so.
drone, but that wouldn't make any sense. I think he's going for a 9 gas, 9 overlord, 9 pool.
It's over gas into pool instead of over pool into gas.
I'm sorry. Yeah,
it's actually not that uncommon.
Yeah, it's a really interesting build. I experimented with it for a little, but I didn't really think it gave you a great advantage over any build, and that it was still like not so good against 12 pool.
Well, that's what that was like the popularized build on Battle Royale last year or last season when it was ZVZ Haven. Pretty much after like the first initial week, pretty much every game just fell into overgas into pool for both players, and then it would just diverge from there.
Yeah, it's an interesting build. It gets you like a lot of gas. Like you can pump mutas longer than an opponent who went for a 9 pool, which Com did. So like if they maintain like the same amount of drones, and it actually I think gives you one extra drone over a 9 pool. Does that sound right to you?
Yeah, over pool or over gas will both give you an extra drone over 9 pool. Might even drones. Not positive.
So, like, in terms of a build order, it's just a really slight advantage for Roro. But his Lings are coming out later, and it looks like he's
going lair first.
Yeah, lair with his first 100 gas. That's standard if you're gonna tech that fast. And both players throwing up their lairs, and they're at cross position. So even with Zergling run time and Mutaflight time, like those little advantages in timing are really going to even themselves out. And Roro being up a drone is going to come to be probably the more important factor, and the fact that he's been getting gas for longer than Com. So if Roro can hold it down and play, and not have any micro missteps, he should be good. Although he is forced to build a sunken colony because and it looks like speed first for Com, and coming in with a lot of superior force of Zerglings, and he's still got it looks like 3 or 4 extra with more streaming in. Oh god,
wow.
Tell me Roro's gonna lose a bunch of drones here. 1 drone goes down, 2 drones go down, so never mind. Com's now in a commanding position, forced a sunken colony to be built, and took out 2 drones. So that's 3 drones of harassment in addition to a lot of minerals in making that colony.
Yeah, definitely. Big time play there by Com. That was a great attack there. Saw that there was a dearth of lanes and just made Roro pay for it. That was absolutely beautiful. And, now that Spire even maybe is a little bit at risk, I think that's what Com is trying to push for. I think he's trying to get over there and trying to pick off that Spire. That Sunken Colony is pretty well placed. I wish that Spire was closer to the Sunken Colony. That would be my only objection right now. But I think there's enough Zerglings to defend it. But Com definitely has a ton of initiative here, and that's huge. He gets to see exactly what Roro spends every single egg on, whereas Roro has no idea what Com is doing.
He's putting up an Evo chamber, so I don't know why his Spire's going to be up first, but I don't know why he's so worried that he feels that he needs to get Spore Colonies. Maybe he's going to go for, like, I would be so surprised if he went for, like, try to win this with +1 speedlings. That would just be ludicrous, ridiculous. I don't even know what to call it. But yeah, he canceled that. I don't know why he would even build that. He's got the Spire and it's going to be quicker. The thing about the Battle Royale, why this build was so popular, it was because if your opponent went for, let's say, a 9 pool and you went for this build, you got your Spire out like 10 seconds earlier, and Scourge build faster than Mutas, so you could get Scourge over your opponent's hatchery, but right as like a little bit before their Mutas were hatching. And that's why it was so popularized. And Aspire is going to be up 10 seconds earlier, but even if those are Scourge, they'll only be halfway to Com's base before Com's mutas come out. And Com, who's a very competent, awesome Zerg player, will definitely be able to micro against that. So I still maintain what I said earlier, that Com's in a pretty commanding lead.
And look how smart Com is, knowing the timings of the Mutalisk and everything, knowing exactly what's coming his way. He backs up those Zerglings. He's not going to lose any of those early on to the initial Zergling or to the initial Mutalisk of Roro. That's just really smart play. And Roro now is forced to spread out his Zerglings a little bit. He's got to search around, got to make sure that there aren't those Zerglings for Com haven't like been split up, and there aren't a few about to sneak into his base. Like that's really important now that Com has that advantage, and he's also throwing up a second hatchery. If he can get that up and running, that will be huge. If he can get that second gas, always is huge if a player can safely get up a second gas or a second hatchery. Huge advantage in ZVZ, even more so than any other matchup, getting that extra production building. And we'll see if he's able to get it. And I think Roro's now coming and seeing that the Zerglings are there. Now is going to know he can push out with the Zerglings, but it's really late, and he's not going to be able to attack with his Mutalisk as he probably would have wanted.
Both players are actually expanding now. I think it's a lot more risky for Roro to be expanding than Com, because just with the initial Zerglings, Com had quite a deal of map control, although Roro's pumped a few more pairs of Zerglings than Com
Genius
has.
scouting by Com.
Yeah,
Wow.
Com's scouting that as soon as it comes out. I believe Roro scouted that. He knows it's there, but he saw it with his mutas. Am I correct? Or did he not?
I don't know if he scouted out. I don't think he saw that with his mutas yet. I don't think his mutas have gotten across the map yet.
Oh, well, anyways, Com's got, I think a couple more Zerglings still left over, although he kind of conceded map control as the mutas came out, because, you can't, Zerglings don't do well against mutas, and you can't really contain